Coach speaks. You know, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I can start. Just first off, general thoughts on the game and how it went.
Vlad, you want to start?
Yes. I feel like we're gonna be better. We have a lead in the first half and just like couldn't keep up with the small details that we knew about. So just be a little bit smarter and keep going.
Trey, your thoughts?
I mean, we could see that overcomplicated. I mean, we gotta play Michigan basketball. I feel like we gotta play faster. I mean, we got to go as much as we would like to play a little bit faster. I mean, just gotta control it.
Anybody else? Go ahead, John.
It's like you said, Vlad, you guys got off to a hot start there. What did Wake Forest do to come back in the first half?
We scouted them, I feel like, pretty well. We knew they're gonna play physical. They're gonna make a play, and it's just experience. And we learned as a group all together that sometimes we have to like keep, when things go well, we have to keep focusing more on some details.
Go ahead.
And then Wake had a lot of offensive rebounds, especially there in the last few minutes. What made it so challenging to collect defensive rebounds?
I mean, I feel like when it comes to rebounds, it's just about effort and want to. I feel like that was the emphasis they came out in the second half, and they took pride on one offensive play.
What can you take away from an early test like this season? Like, what's the advantage of playing pretty close, tough game against our?
I mean, it's something that you look forward to. But it's just a learning process. I mean, there's no championships won in November. I mean, at Michigan, we're trying to win championships. I mean, we can sit here and look at all the bad stuff we did, what we learned in Power Rider, what we can learn from it, and continue to build on what we have here at Michigan, and keep going to our end goal, which is to win a championship.
Your thoughts?
I mean, winning is hard, and I feel like we have a lot of experienced players who understands it, and we just have to stay together. No matter if we win, if we lose, it doesn't change our culture. We play for each other, and we're gonna continue playing for each other.
Anything else?
Yeah, Trey, can you take us through that halftime shot you had?
Coach just drew it up and we executed it. I mean, I gave it a chance. And went to it. I mean, it was a fun shot.
Kind of from the outside, you have 2 7-footers, Vlad, with you in this game. Like, what is unique about that? What do you like about that? Playing with 2 big guys. Same question, Trey, from your perspective as well.
I feel like it opens a lot of passing lanes because they need obviously 7-footer, and he obviously has unbelievable passing skills. So it just opens a lot of windows where I usually didn't see ball coming from, and now it's just something that I have to adjust as well. But it's great playing with players like him because he's definitely one of the kind.
I mean, just as good as you have 2 7-footers, like you said, it opens up so much more for us offensively and defensively. With Danny being able to put the ball on the floor and stretch the floor, and then Vlad being able to have his paint presence, it gives us so many different looks offensively and defensively.
Anything else? All right, thank you, fellas.
We appreciate the Gazelle Group for putting on this game. It had a road type of NCAA tournament feel to it. This arena was a great environment. Hats off to Wake, the way they drew. There's great energy in the building. Without a doubt, we'll learn something from this experience. And this is why we play these semi-road game, I guess you call semi-road games this time of year, so you can find out some things about your team. And I think we all learned a few things tonight.
Questions for Coach? Go ahead, Eli.
What did you see in that last 7-8 minutes where we came up, put a little bit more pressure defensively? What did you see from your offense that you liked or didn't like?
Well, the biggest possessions, we slipped on the court. I thought the 2 biggest possessions. Other than that, we didn't cut very well. We're usually a very good cutting team, and I don't know if it was the fatigue because our rotation was off. We had a few guys playing more minutes than they typically do in our rotation. So I don't know if we were a little fatigued from the cutting, but the ball stuck, and we didn't cut quite as well as we're capable of. And I think there's a lot of, I think our best possessions, we had great off-ball movement. Wake does a nice job in their ball screen coverage. It's something different than we typically see, and we didn't adjust very well on the fly to it.
Next question, anyway? Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you guys got turned over quite a bit, especially in the first half, and as you said, slipping in the court later in the second half. How do you feel that affected the runs in the first half and just the execution at the end?
I thought we drove bad spacing a few times, and when you drive bad spacing against Wake, they're extremely active in the gaps, and they made us pay probably 75% of the time we drove bad spacing. Now, if you do manage to get through the first wave, you can find an open three-pointer, but it's high risk, high reward, and we probably took those risks a little too frequently today.
Similar question I asked Vlad. Wake had one possession right there in the last 2 minutes where they had 2 offensive rebounds. How hurtful were those, and what were they doing to have success against Vlad on the inside?
It seemed like they were long rebounds. Reed does a good job of wedging his, Vlad's blocking him out, this guy does a good job of wedging him under the rim, and he can see the ball and he had a range. Our guards need to do a better job, and they may have done a solid job on that one, I'm not sure, but just in generality, they need to do a better job of flying in and getting in the fight and helping out the bigs, especially on those long rebounds, because they carry them to seem like 16, 17 feet. Hats off to our guys. I thought they kept competing. They didn't drop their heads. They battled again and again and again, and Wake Forest made the plays they needed to win. Hats off to them.
It's a challenge to bring in so many new players. You know, the cast, I think every team is dealing with the transfer era, bringing in new players and trying to get them to mesh. Is that something you kind of noticed? You're going to have to, every week's going to be kind of a different experience.
I think so, yeah. And even for us not knowing all of our guys, what positions to put them in, we only see, we watch the film, how they play with the previous schools, and then the way we play. So we're still learning our guys. They're still learning us. We have a long way to go. We have a group that's hungry to get better, and I think the things that we're going to get out of this game, we'll start playing on Tuesday.
Dusty, when you scout a team like Wake, you know that they have shooting, and you know that they haven't made their shots yet. You have a feeling that it's only going to be a matter of time, and you just hope it's not against you at a certain point.
Absolutely. Obviously, Spiller's had a great game and made shots, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. And the last game, last 2 games, he's shot it with confidence, and he hasn't knocked them down. And tonight he did. And they needed him. I thought his energy, I thought his aggression driving the ball. I think he just made real pivotal plays to stop a run or to make some plays. So, nice pickup by them. He seems to fit the rest of their team well. That group seems to have, like us, they're unique in their abilities, but it seems like Spillers has really fit in well, and he brings a lot of energy to the game.
What's the early take on the 2 7-footers playing together? It's just, they're so big.
Yeah, we're still ironing out some kinks, and it's probably a little bit overblown because they don't play together a lot. I think if you look at the minutes, at least half of them, they're not together. We just have to find a way to take care of the basketball. We turn it over in practice, we turn it over in our exhibitions, we turn it over in our 2 contests now. So for us to be as good as we can be, we can't give teams easy baskets because of our turnovers.
Ruben Jones obviously made his debut tonight off the bench. What do you see from him, and do you expect him to stay in that role off the bench?
I don't know yet. We're still looking at some lineup combinations. Ruben, I thought he played well defensively. Foul troubles limited him significantly so far this year in the limited sample size. But I thought he makes plays off the ball. He sees the game at a high level. I don't think he's in the game shape, but he's not in the game type of shape that he's going to be in a couple weeks just because he's missed so much practice time. We need him to be a veteran, a guy that we can look to as an example of how to play both sides of basketball. He's unselfish. We look forward to getting him back where he can play minutes.
Do you like scheduling these early season tests? Like, is this something you want to do moving forward?
No, I'm just kidding. Absolutely. This game was great. We learned a lot about our team. If we go in the right direction, and you never know what your team's going to do. Do you need confidence by playing teams you should win at home? Or do you need to go get challenged? And in our league, we just felt like our league, the reputation precedes it as far as physicality and road environments and things like that. And so we just thought early on for us to get better, for us to use November, we used to have practice time and whatnot. But we needed to see where we were, and It's no secret Wake Forest. I mean, anyone in our profession thinks this is the best team that Coach Forbes has had, and they could potentially be a second weekend NCAA tournament team. So that's we weren't naive to this. Could be a big challenge, and it was. And shoot, other than the loss, we're glad we did it because we're going to be better for it.
Anybody have anything else? All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, we're going to start with questions for Trey before we go to Coach. So, questions for Trey.
Trey, what did it feel like to get a couple shots to fall in the second half and kind of get the offensive rhythm clicking for the whole team?
I mean, it felt good. I know we started off slow, but I mean, it's basketball. I mean, we picked up the pace, we found what was the issue, and we corrected it.
I know you haven't been here as long as some other guys in the locker room, but what does it feel like an early season win in this kind of environment can do for you guys?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, we talked about in the locker room, it's gonna be good later in the season when March comes, so it's just a big win for us. We're not happy for it.
Trey, I know it's still early in the season, but how much has your confidence grown over the last 3 games?
I mean, it's grown a lot, and I credit a lot to my teammates for allowing me to have all this confidence, and my coaches. Thanks.
Hey Trey, as you're at the lane, as Hunter's taking those final 2 foul shots, and they're bouncing all over the rim before they fall, how you guys feeling about that?
It scared us a little bit, but once I saw I got a good roll in, I knew it was good.
Hey Trey, can you talk about Juke's performance in the first half?
Oh man, Juke brought a lot of momentum to us. I feel like if it wasn't for him, I don't know how the first half would have turned out, but he brought a lot of momentum. So big shout to Juke, man.
Trey, really coming out just in the end of that second half, coming alive. What's like the most important that you feel to close a half like that that's really close, really a 1 or 2 possession game?
Just getting stops, getting big rebounds. So not allowing them to get offensive rebounds, being rebounding into or getting stuck for 3 at the end of the half. Just kidding.
Anything else for Trey?
Trey, how does this help you moving forward when a game like this where it's real close and everything?
It's going to help us a lot. Just building off of it, building off the stuff we can learn on. So that's it.
Trey, back here, I know it's early, but did this feel like a big game and a big opportunity for you guys coming into it, and then finding a way in the moment down the stretch to get a win? How important is that for you guys?
It was definitely big for us. We spent all week preparing for it. Big shout out to our scout team too. Last day before the game, they was getting on us, scoring on us. So big shout out to our scout team. Honestly.
Anything else? All right, Trey, you're good. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach.
I want to thank Michigan for agreeing to play this game. I think the world of Dusty and always have, and I think he's got a really good team. Watching him play before they came in tonight or this afternoon, I was very I don't want to say nervous, but I could see a team that had a lot of confidence, that really played offense really well, had great size. We had played Alabama a 3 weeks ago, and I thought, well, it can't be anybody that plays offense as good as they play. And then I watched these guys, and I was like, holy mackerel. They got a really good team, and they're going to win a lot of games. We built this team in the spring on gritty, grimy, tough together. Felt like we had to get tougher to win these kind of games, and I think that showed today that these guys are a pretty tough-minded group of guys. I thought the game changed at the 8-minute mark, pretty much in the first half, when Actually, I think Hunter went to the bench with 2 fouls. We finished the half, I think, with 4 kills. That's 3 stops in a row, and 4 times. And then obviously Juke really, he really sparked us off the bench, made some big plays. In the second half, we continued to defend them, and they went 10 for 29 from the field and 2 for 16 from 3. They had made, I think, 8 threes in the first half. And we turned them over 16 times, which our defense was consistent. I think the threes they got early were off offensive rebounds. I don't really think they were off their initial set. We just didn't get the ball. They were beating us to the ball, to their credit. But I thought we took them out of transition. Second half, we played without fouling in a very physical game. We stayed ahead of the play. And I thought Efton Reed played 30 minutes. We hedged every ball screen. We only got beat on it maybe 1 time. Our guards did a great job of the hedge and taking away the short roll and then coming back to guard the ball. Offensively, we just kind of found a way. It took us some time, but the key was getting in the lane. We did a good job on offense. We were 1.5 points per possession when the ball got in the lane for the game. Then we were 1.74 in the second half. So, I thought we did a much better job of finding a way to score. But when we weren't scoring, we played really good defense, and that carried us through the whole game. And I'm really proud of my team for that. Questions?
Steve, Juke not being afraid of the moment or intimidated by the stage, that's something that you can have a sense of before he gets here? You just have to put him in there and see how he plays?
Yeah, Connor, I think you just got to put him in there and see. I mean, he wasn't in practice, right? Like, when he got here in the summertime, I was like, okay, all right, Juke, you're going to play. Because you just don't know about I don't care who they are, whether they're transfers or high school recruits. You just don't know until they get in the fire. And he just was always in the mix. And so, he's got a high basketball IQ, and that helps him. And he has a lot of confidence in himself. And so, he's still learning a lot. But, yeah, I think he's going to be crowd favorite, it sounds like, to the crowd, too. It's not a boo, I think it's Juke.
The name helps.
Juke.
Steve, 3 games, 7 days. Assess you guys right now. What do you think?
We're gonna go home and sleep.
Right.
I'm tired. I mean, it is what it is. Guys. I know it's a long. The crazy thing is, I was talking with John Curry yesterday. We're gonna be playing in March, and we've already played 3 games. But that's just the way basketball is. Because we play 20 league games too, we have to get them in because we started league play, the 1st of December. So it was good for us. We practiced enough. We needed to play, and I'm really proud of my team. We didn't play great in the first 2 games. I mean, we didn't hide the fact that we had 19 turnovers against, North Carolina A&T. We only turned it over 13 times today. And a couple of those were late, man, coming out of timeouts too. Got to clean that up. But yeah, we've learned a lot about our team. We need a day off tomorrow, and then we only got 1 day prep for upstate. And then next Saturday we're back at Xavier, the same type of environment. Actually, it would be more hostile because this was a great crowd. Really, thank you to everybody that came. Thank you to the Gazelle Group who put it on, and Lindsey Babcock with our at Wake. I think everybody did a great job in promoting this game, and I think it's a great place for us to come play.
To the point of what you just said, Dusty was saying that the game kind of had like a road type of NCAA tournament game feel to it. Did you feel some of that as well down the stretch?
I did. I mean, obviously when you go and play in the tournament, you play in neutral sites. So sometimes it just kind of depends on which one of your fans, whose fan base shows up the most. And I thought there's it seemed like there's some Michigan fans in here today too. Yeah, I thought it was, the intensity of the game, physicality of the game. It was close. There was score pressure on both teams. Yeah, it was good. I've watched some games. Like the game last night between Auburn and Houston was a hell of a game, and it had score pressure too. When you can get that early, that helps you as the season goes along.
Steve, your team started 1 for 11 behind the arc. You had to probably be thinking, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah.
How good was it to see some of those fall later in the game? And were you happy with the shots in the first half? Because I thought most of them were pretty good.
Yeah, I have to I watch it, I guess, but I've watched enough, to know that I think our shot quality is pretty good. I can't remember, maybe one, okay, I think Omaha shot one from the corner. He'd made one though, but Juke shot one deep corner first half. He'd made one, but maybe not. That's a little too quick. But man, if you only get a couple of those a game, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, I felt good. The one I want Upton to shoot that one in transition, on ball reversal, 5-man standing in the lane, shoot it, and he made it. It's a good one for him. Trey made a couple big ones. He has his feet set. He's been working hard at it. He didn't even shoot threes last year. I don't even think he made one. I'm not sure he shot one. And how many did he shoot there, Con?
He was 0 for 1. It was the late shot clock.
There you go. I think that shows you how much he's worked on his game and improved, and how hard our staff has worked with him to get him the confidence to make those shots.
Fouled up 3 tonight a couple times.
Yeah.
That's not something you've always done. What was the determining factor on that? Was it the fact that they were shooting behind the arc so well?
Yeah, and I'm mad at myself for Loyola Marymount 2 years ago. I'm still pissed about that. I should have fouled, and I've always done it. We did it at Wisconsin and won the game. Yeah, and the fact they can really shoot it. I mean, and if I let them run something, they're coming down. They're getting a look, and they got a lot of guys out there that can make them. And so I thought the odds were more in our favor to foul. I kind of, you got to give Hunter credit. Hunter handles that ball the whole game with a lot of heat on him. He's an elite player, elite defender. One of the threes they missed late was because he stunned at the ball out of the corner. He's just so good. He's a really good player.
Do you change anything schematically in the second half to get that 2 for 16 mark from 3? Or was it just pushing over pressure and not allowing
Good question. I think we switched a little bit. Like, we switch 1 through 4, and then we'll switch 1 through 5. It just depends who's at the 5. Okay, and I think the switching 1 through 5 messed them up a little bit. Okay, but we probably switched 1 through 4 more than we did 1 through 5. If we switch 1 through 4, then we hedge the 5-man ball screen. That's what I was talking about. But if we switch all 5, then we don't have to hedge. Okay, it kind of keeps the ball in front of us a little bit better. That's about it.
These kinds of early tests, like last season, Wade kind of struggled or had close games against Georgia, Utah, LSU. Yeah. How does it feel to kind of break through that early kind of test?
It feels really good, and we talked about that. It's time to do this. But I do go back to saying, I just think that's the way this team's been built, and that's their mentality. And I know people get frustrated because they're so used to us scoring points, but that's not how you have to score, but you have to defend and rebound. Defensive rebound and rebounding travel, no matter if that ball's going in the basket or not. And we got a couple stops late. Now, they slipped, got tough. I don't know what happened there, a couple travels. We turned it over. We got a little sloppy maybe late, but those are things you can clean up. This is the first week of the season.
Too early to tell if your defense is better this year than last year?
What do you think? I think so. We don't like we were 5th in the ACC last year, whatever that means. I think we're just grittier, a little more grimier. We get a lot more 50-50 balls. We get our hands on a lot of deflections and steals. I just think we're longer and a little more athletic. We'll see. That team's pretty good last year. We want to be better than that team.
Is Tyler kind of dinged up a little bit, or is it just coach's decision?
Coach's decision.
Anything else?
Steve, given what you know about the way you built this team around gritty, grinding, tough together, does there need to be a little bit of a recalibration in how we think about how this team wins games, because we're so used to seeing it go up and down and score and score?
Probably. I do think we'll get better offensively. I really do. I see it every day. It kind of blows my mind a little bit. Like, I see things in practice, I'm like, holy, we can shoot it, and then we can't. All of a sudden, you know what I mean? I think we'll find our way there. And then, and some of it is understanding new people your personnel, what's good, I think we're good at that. And not just playing one way all the time. So I think for us, you know, for the keyboard warriors out there, the know-it-alls know more than I do, you know, everybody's complaining we don't play defense. Well, here we go. So enjoy it or don't.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That's good.